Government looking at mechanism to stabilise fuel prices. Malaysia to seek quick release of fishermen held in Indonesia. Hello and good afternoon. I'm MOHANAAPRIYA. Welcome to News on 2. The government will announce a mechanism to stabilise the prices of fuel, especially RON 95 and diesel, when they surpass RM2.50 per litre. Nonetheless, according to Treasury Secretary General Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan Sarigar Abdullah, an in-depth study on the matter will be carried out soon. Tan Sri Dr. Muhammad Irwan added that the mechanism should benefit households in the B40 and M40 income groups.
Kalau harga ni meningkat sampai ke RM2.50, yang itulah jadi limit maksimum, maka kerajaan akan mencari jalan untuk memberi balik kepada rakyat, terutamanya rakyat yang miskin ni. Bagaimana kita boleh membantu menampung kos beban hidup mereka.
On Monday, the Finance Ministry in a statement said the government would be identifying suitable measures to reduce the impact of rising crude oil prices in the world if the retail prices of RON 95 and diesel exceed RM2.50 per litre continuously for 3 months. Domestic action has been taken against Barisan Nasional members of parliament who did not attend the Dewan Rakyat sitting on Monday during the division vote on the Supply Bill 2018 for the Domestic Trade, Cooperatives and Consumerism Ministry. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Ahmad Zahid Hamidi said he had also advised the MPs to be more serious in attending the Dewan Rakyat.
Yeah, I have taken action actually. So I have already told them, and I think I have already advised them they should be more serious in attending the session.
There was an uproar in the Dewan Rakyat on Monday when lawmakers from both the government and opposition sides engaged in a war of words out of unhappiness over the division vote conducted at the sitting. It started when Kapar MP G. Manivanan suggested that a division vote or block vote be taken to determine the support for the Supply Bill 2018. It was approved by 52 votes for and 51 against. The Agriculture and Agro-Based Industry Ministry will be taking immediate follow-up action following the agreement between the leaders of Malaysia and Indonesia to release each other's fishermen detained in the two countries. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Ahmad Shabir said the decision was reached between Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Tun Razak and Indonesian President Joko Widodo during their 12th annual leaders' consultation in Kuching yesterday. According to Datuk Sri Ahmad Shabiri, the ministry will be identifying the fishermen involved and will cooperate with the related agencies on the issue as it involves the security and laws of the two countries.
Nelayan ni kebanyakannya susah, miskin. Dan kalau kita meneruskan tahanan penangkapan mereka, kesasaraan itu semakin bertambah. Tapi secara spontan dalam mesyuarat tadi Bapak Presiden Jokowi telah memberi satu reaksi yang positif bahawa kita perlu melepaskan dia untuk masa ini dan kita akan bincangkan apakah langkah-langkah yang seterusnya.
An estimated 16 Malaysians are in Indonesia, while about 100 Indonesian fishermen are being held in this country. Bank Negara Malaysia has commenced work on a regulatory structure for digital currencies which will stem any emerging risk of terrorism financing. BNM Governor Tan Sri Muhammad Ibrahim said, starting 2018, entities converting cryptocurrencies into flat money currencies will be regulated.
Beginning 2018, Bank Negara Malaysia will designate persons converting cryptocurrencies into fiat money currencies as reporting institution under the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act 2001. This is to prevent the abuse of the system for criminal and unlawful activities and ensuring the stability and integrity of the financial system.
Speaking at the third Counter-Terrorism Financing Summit 2017 yesterday, Tan Sri Mohamad said the central bank was also finalizing the details of a new requirement for the banking and money services business sector to report remittances in high-risk areas. Meanwhile, Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Datuk Sri Jailani Johari has pointed out that nowadays social media can easily be used to garner support for radical ideologies and incite violent acts of terrorism. The minister said that if in the past the government could manage crises by ensuring that only accurate and credible information was allowed to be disseminated, these days riots could be started with only one inflammatory post. Therefore, Datuk Sri Jailani has reminded social media users to be responsible and have the right social media manners and to utilize it as an effective platform to disseminate information.
Kita dah mengadakan program seperti klik dengan bijak, hashtag jom ambil peduli dan sebagainya. Tapi kita sebagai pengguna, I think our tendency is that once we are on the internet, kita tend to share a lot of things. So itulah, kita jangan terlalu gairah berkongsi. Ada benda-benda yang kita boleh kongsi, ada benda yang kita tidak boleh kongsi.
He said this when opening the 52nd meeting of the ASEAN Committee on Culture and Information in Kuala Lumpur. The ASEAN COCI aims to promote effective cooperation in the fields of culture and information for the purpose of enhancing mutual understanding and solidarity among the people of ASEAN, as well as furthering regional development. The Tun Abdul Razak Institute of Broadcasting and Information, IPTAR, and University Kebangsaan Malaysia, UKM, have signed a strategic partnership agreement to carry out twinning programs related to media and communications. The agreement, which will involve cooperation in the fields of publishing, research, student mobility and courses, was inked by IPTAR Director Salma Ibrahim Melina and UKM Deputy Vice Chancellor of Academic and International Affairs, Professor Datuk Dr. Imran Ho Abdullah. Speaking to reporters after the signing ceremony, Salma said through the agreement, IPTAR and UKM would offer twinning courses which were longer than the existing short-term courses.
Jadi kami perlu sangat kepakaran UKM yang merupakan sebuah universiti penyelidikan. Jadi dapatan kajian yang dibuat UKM boleh kami guna pakai untuk merangka kursus yang relevan untuk pengamal-pengamal media, khususnya di RTM, di Jabatan Penerangan dan juga di jasa.
UKM peranan dari segi saya kata penggubalan kurikulum ya untuk program berkembar itu dan kita akan memberikan input dari segi akademiknya.
Meanwhile, UKM Media Impact and Creative Industry Research Centre Chairman, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Yusuf Abdullah said the collaboration would enable UKM to assist IPTAR in carrying out its responsibilities. Now, a cargo train derailed at the KTMB Bank Negara station this morning, disrupting rail services to several parts of the Klang Valley. The railway company said through its Twitter account at KTM Berhad, it will take 3 days to restore services following the derailment that occurred around 5 a.m. today. Now, normal services passing through the KL, Bank Negara, Putra and Segambut stations have now been temporarily halted. KTMB advised commuters to seek alternative rail services such as the MRT in Sungai Buloh, Kajang, Museum Negara, Pasar Seni and the LRT from Subang Jaya. There will only be limited services on certain lines, namely Tanjung Malim Kepong, Port Klang KL Central, Tampin Seremban to KL Central and Batu Caves to Sentul. Buses will also be available at the Sentul and KL Central stations to alleviate the situation. Bus services at KL Central will be at the KLIA Express Departure Hall's parking area. Commuters can also take the electric train service by switching from the Sungai Buloh MRT station. Coming up, Uber concealed a massive hack that exposed data of 57 million users and drivers. Details coming up. Now, the Selangor state government has been urged to give a detailed explanation on its plan to introduce crop insurance scheme aimed at protecting more than 10,000 farmers in the state, as announced in its 2018 budget. Tanjung Karang Member of Parliament Tan Sri Noor Omar said this is necessary as the scheme is difficult to implement because most insurance companies are not willing to provide such coverage. Tan Sri Noor Omar pointed out that the federal government has long planned to introduce the crop insurance scheme, but for various reasons, including failure to solicit greater cooperation and participation from insurance companies, the government has instead opted for the setting up of the Disaster Relief Fund with an allocation of 16 million ringgit.
Hari ini kerajaan negeri nak mengambil hati pesawah, dia kata nak berikan insurans kepada pesawah. Jadi saya nak cabar kerajaan negeri tolong terangkan secara detail bagaimana insurans yang mereka nak jual, kerana itu kita lebih dulu. Kalau benda itu mudah dilaksana, kita dah laksana lebih dulu daripada kerajaan negeri.
Tan Sri Noor, who is also the Urban Wellbeing, Housing and Local Government Minister, was met during a meet and greet session with farmers, livestock breeders and fishermen in Tanjung Karang, Selangor yesterday. Trade between Indonesia and Malaysia rose 21% in the first quarter of this year. Announcing this in Kuching, Sarawak, Indonesian President Joko Widodo thanked Malaysia for her cooperation over the import and export of rice between the two countries.
Saya menyambut baik inisiasi ekspor beras Indonesia ke Malaysia melalui NTKONG sebesar 25.000 ton pada bulan Oktober yang lalu, dan Indonesia berharap Malaysia dapat mengalokasikan 20% dari kuota impornya, kuota impor beras ke Indonesia, yaitu sekitar 150.000 ton per tahun.
President Jokowi was speaking during the signing of a memorandum of understanding in the area of Islamic higher education between Higher Education Minister Datuk Sri Idris Jusso and Indonesian Foreign Minister Retno Lestari Marsudi. Uber is coming clean about its cover-up of a year-old hacking attack that stole personal information about more than 57 million of the beleaguered ride-hailing services customers and drivers, according to a Tuesday blog post by Uber's recently hired CEO, Dara Khoroshawashi. So far, there's no evidence that the data taken had been misused. Part of the reason nothing malicious has happened is because Uber acknowledges paying the hackers $100,000 to destroy the stolen information. The revelation marks the latest stain on Uber's reputation. The heist took the names, email addresses and mobile phone numbers of 57 million riders around the world. The thieves also nabbed the driver's license numbers of 600,000 Uber drivers in the US. Uber waited until Tuesday to begin notifying the drivers with compromised driver's licenses, which can be particularly useful for perpetrating identity theft. For that reason, Uber will now pay for free credit report monitoring and identity theft protection services for the affected drivers. Telekom Malaysia Berhad TM registered a 32.5% jump in net profit to 211.82 million ringgit in the third quarter ended September 30, 2017, from 159.84 million ringgit. Its revenue in the same quarter increased 0.6% to 2.94 billion ringgit. For the 9-month period, TM's net profit eased marginally to 508.31 million ringgit from 508.4 million ringgit. Its revenue during the same period increased 0.7% to 8.89 billion ringgit on the back of higher internet revenue contribution through higher unified customer base and premium channel buys. TM Group Chief Executive Officer Datuk Sri Mohammad Shazali Ramli said the group saw stronger growth in Unify as a net addition doubled quarter-on-quarter by 55,000 to 1.06 million customers. Malaysia needs to be more selective in approving investments, particularly from China, to ensure quality control and that it will have a multiplier effect in various sectors. Malaysian Investment Development Authority, MIDA, former Deputy Chief Executive Officer Datuk Pang Atong says this is because most of the inbound investments to Malaysia is directed towards the infrastructure and property areas.
If you look at investment coming from Germany, from Japan, even US, many of those are high quality, especially in electronics, in aerospace and medical devices. But of course, China is just moving out. To invest overseas. They are mostly resource-based. Jitsu, which have acquired the company. So we want more high-tech projects, just like any other country. Be selective. Industries that we want.
Nonetheless, Malaysia is in need of high-technology investments from China, given their advancement in the field of semiconductor manufacturing. Currently, a large number of China's investments are focused on Malaysia's manufacturing sector. Coming up, Datuk Rajagopal returns to PKNS FC. Bank Rakyat's year-long corporate social responsibility or CSR initiative focusing on autism and heightening its awareness ended with its inaugural Autism Olympic Bank Rakyat 2017, which was held at Complex Sukanegara Panasonic Shah Alam yesterday. The event saw the participation of 32 autism centres with close to 500 children aged between 5 and 12 who contested in sporting activities such as Big Fish Story, Target Shoot, Run and Pick, as well as Building the Tower. The concept of the games not only tested their sensory and physical endurance, but also functioned as therapy to stimulate their movements and emotions. Bank Rakyat Marketing and Communications Senior Vice President Nizam Sani said Autism Olympic had brought together autism centres in the Klang Valley and fulfilled the organisation's CSR aspiration as a hub for autism. Among the autism centres that took part in the event were Permata Kurnia, National Autism Society of Malaysia, Autism Association of Muslim Malaysia, community-based rehabilitation centres and special education schools. The Autism Olympic will be held in Perlis and Malacca next year. Former national coach Datuk K. Rajagopal has come full circle by returning to PKNS FC, the club where he launched his football career as both player and coach. In what is only his second coaching job at a Super League club after leaving the national team in 2013, Datuk Rajagopal is delighted to be given the opportunity to take the reins at PKNS for next season. But Datuk Rajagopal, who memorably led Malaysia to the 2010 AFF Cup title, cautioned against expecting miracles at a club which finished 7th last season after going through 3 coaches. At his introduction press conference yesterday, the 61-year-old said it was important to be realistic. He also said he was excited about the challenge. Datuk Rajagopal, who played for PKNS from 1978 to 1989 in the Selangor League and FAM Cup competitions and coached the club from 1990 to 1998, said the lure of returning to his roots was too hard to resist.
I want to do better than that. Then I buat better than that musim ini untuk musim depan. The next season. And if it is possible, if it is very positive, we have to believe, we have to be in confidence of giving challenge cabaran untuk pasukan-pasukan yang lain. And I want to make sure that PKNS, is being recognized, being respected by other teams. It's not just, we are going to play with PKNS Tada.
Despite his success at international level, which included winning a SEA Games gold medal in 2009, Datuk Rajagopal's achievement domestically has been restricted to winning the Premier 1 League title with Selangor in 2000 and the second-tier Premier League title with Young Tigers in 2009. His last foray into the Super League ended after just 5 months with Sarawak in 2016, though Datuk Rajagopal, who led Kelantan to the Malaysia Cup semi-finals in 2001, said he has nothing to prove at the local level. Meanwhile, PKNS FC President Siti Zubaida Abdul Jabbar said Datuk Rajagopal's appointment as head coach to replace the team's caretaker head coach Adam Abdullah was to revive the team's fortunes for next season's campaign. The club is holding discussions with former coach Elavarasan over his 2017-2018 contract.
Yang empat yang itu seperti yang saya sebut, kita akan pastikan ada win-win, win-win ya, win-win solution PKNS FC and also Coach Ella. Dan saya ucapkan terima kasih kepada Coach Ella kerana selama before this 2015-2016 dengan kepimpinan Coach Ella in the field, kita dapat comeback ya, dan itulah kita akan teruskan perundingan.
And that concludes this afternoon's edition of News on 2. In our top story today, the government will announce a mechanism to stabilise the prices of fuel, especially RON 95 and diesel, when they surpass RM2.50 per litre. We'll be back with more updates at 7 this evening. Until then, I'm MOHANAAPRIYA. Have a great day.